So, Geoff, nice to speak to you this evening. We are, thank you very much, a good few weeks since the UK Games Expo event where you went and took an Imperial force with you to play Star Wars Legion. And we've been trying to get a good time to have a conversation, and we finally made the technology work this evening, and we're going to have a chat about your run at the event. So if you could set us up and tell us what you took to the Games Expo.
Thanks, Adam. So I've been playing Empire since the game came out. Normally, my play style in war games is not sort of big guns, shoot. It tends to be more sort of shoot and scoot, small, nippy, agile, elite armies.
Yes.
But just something about the Empire, I thought, no, I'm going to give this a go. So that's why I've been playing Empire since it came out. And I took to an event a couple of months ago, a double ATST list, just to sort of try it out.
Yeah.
One with Vice, one with the Hammers pilot.
Yeah.
And what I found was, as lovely as that Arsenal 4 is, getting it so you've got somebody in range 2 and somebody at range 4 plus and whatever, it just wasn't cutting the mustard. It just wasn't able to get it all that lined up. Meanwhile, the Hammers pilot is just wrecking everything that it touches.
Yeah.
So I made a slight modification, and the list I ended up taking to Expo was a generic commander.
Yep. The Imperial officer.
Imperial officer. No upgrades. 3 core units of stormtroopers.
Yep. Get your core in.
One of them had a T-21 upgrade and blaster rifle, and 2 of them had R4 astromechs.
So they could repair.
Now the plan was they would go and repair the ATSTs.
Yes.
That didn't quite work out in practice, because within that list I also had 3 units of speeder bikes.
Okay.
So, and then to round it out was 2 ATSTs, both kitted out the same, Hammers pilot, the light blaster cannon.
Okay.
The range 4 mortar.
Nice.
And a linked targeting array.
Excellent.
So both of them identical. As I said, the R4 astromechs there were there for the ATSTs, but in practice they ended up spending most of the time repairing the bikes.
Which is pretty cool, because the bikes have got.
Which is pretty cool, because the bikes do take a hammering.
They do, yeah. But the bikes can also give you such a surge of damage, can't they, with that rainbow spread on 2 bikes with impact. Did you find any game? We're going to have a quick go through your games, but were there any games where the bikes hit something really hard?
That's a tough one. There's times when they certainly tried to.
Yes, fair enough. Well, how about then we lead off with day 1, as you went through quite a few games and some highlights from the day and who you played.
Yeah, sure. So first up, I was drawn against Arvis.
Yes.
Who's from Lithuania. He was bringing. He'd come over to the event with a couple of other Europeans.
Excellent.
And he'd brought a droid army, super tactical droid, a veritable horde of B1s, 2 units of Magna Guard, and 2 spider droids.
Oh yeah, very
with irons.
With irons, of course.
Yeah. Like a lot of the games, we played major offensive, so you're sort of on the corners.
Oh yeah, diagonally opposite. Yeah.
And it was payload.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I put his to the side. He put mine to the side. And the game sort of started off quite well. I was sort of blowing stuff up, but never really whittling units down. Okay. And he was managing to take those units and then move them out of the way, so I didn't get the kill points for them.
Yeah.
His payload was trundling over. Yep. He started to go over towards my payload, but then the bikes were looking after it. A unit of stormtroopers were looking after it, and actually thought better of it. I think if he had gone for it, it could have done some real damage to me, because in payload what I found is you only need to stop that truck for one turn, and you've probably won the game. So I panicked a bit and thought, well, he's gonna stop this, but fortunately he didn't. He backed off, and so it ended up as a shooting match. He took out.
The amount of heavy you have, you must be happy with a shooting match in most games.
Well, yeah, I mean the spider droids weren't doing much. I was picking wrong targets, to be honest, I think. But then what happened was around about turn 5, I sort of looked and thought this has got to be a problem here. So the bikes targeted the spider droids, managed to take those 2 out along with the ATST, and then the other ATST spotted. It was using Kalani.
Oh yeah.
He was in the open. No surges on him, no protection, no dodges. So just had a link targeting array aim, spotter aim from the Imperial officer, aim on there. So that's 3 aims, all firepower, 9 hits, 5 wounds through, and that was Kalani gone. So when the dust settled, we thought, oh well, Arvis has won. He's killed a bike unit. He's killed this. He killed that. When we totted it up, because we both hit the payloads into the corners.
Yeah, get them away.
When we totted it up, I'd won by about 17 kill points.
Oh my days.
So it was as close as you could be. I mean, I was shaking hands. I was like, "Well done, mate. You through." But no, it turned that had gone through instead. So yeah, that was the first one. So it's that what that taught me was actually on payload, don't worry too much about theirs. Make sure yours is getting through.
Yeah.
And get those kill points to turn it into a more of a shooting fest.
Yeah, makes sense.
But make sure you do get those points.
So how did that go into game 2 then? Yeah.
Yeah, second one was Mikey Woody with his rebels, a returning player to Legion.
All right.
He played originally, gone away, come back again, and I was blue player. I was blue player for most of these, and when the cards came down, he said, "I've not played Bombing Run before, so I'll give that one a go."
Okay. Interesting choice, but okay.
So that was I put bombs on 2 of the speeders and on 1 of the ATSTs.
Oh wow.
So first turn it was speeder in, drop the bomb, 1 point. Yeah. Second turn, speeder in, drop the bomb, 2 points. Third turn, ATST, which had taken a lot of damage, to be fair to it.
You'd hope so. If it's just walking across the board.
Just drop that. That was 3. So all I had to do was make sure he didn't get 1 of his bombs in.
Yeah.
So he didn't have a lot of speed. He put the bombs on infantry rather than on the ATRTs. He had Chewie, Leia, and we shot one of the rebel squads. Boom, gone. Because my other ATST was on guard duty against this. Then Chewie picked it up, came across. Again, 9 hits from the walker and a couple of hits from a unit, and that was Chewie gone. And then Leia tried, and then Leia went to the just feeding this ATST,
giving it new targets every turn to unleash its arsenal.
At the end of the day, he just ran out of hands to carry the bombs.
Fair enough.
Game 3 was when we was 4 games in one day, which is
that's a lot of Legion.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of Legion, a lot of thinking. But that one sort of by about turn 3, you could see which way it was headed. So that was okay. Again, and then Callum's brought his rebel flyboys.
Ooh.
So Han, Operative Luke, Chewie, and I'm thinking, oh, it could be a problem. But it was we've gone for breakthrough.
Oh.
and he put Operative Luke on one side of the board. So what I did was I put everyone else on the other side of the board away from,
Stay away from the lightsaber.
Luke. And he wasn't quite sure like how to get his stuff across, so he was sort of camped in his own deployment zone. Well, he's not really got much armor busting, so the ATSTs just sort of walked to the middle of the table and then just opened up on anything they could find.
Yeah.
The bikes had scooted round the flank and were supporting the troopers going across. So of course Luke now has to dash across to try and stop this incursion.
Yeah.
And all he ends up doing is putting himself straight in front of two ATSTs and all the rest of my army coming up. And he charged them into some bikes, killed a bike, but obviously not engaged.
Yeah, he can still be shot at, which means
still be shot at, yeah. So he got double ATST and double bike and some infantry, and it's just overwhelming firepower at that point.
Yeah, 100%.
And he had we'd already taken Chewie out, and he's like, well, I've got no answer to this, and Han can't really do anything, and there's just too many unit leaders ready to go through.
Yeah.
So that was a win there. And then last game of the day was against Richard College, Empire. He'd brought Krennic and Vader.
Krennic's got some good command cards, but so does Vader. So,
and it was Commander Vader as well. So Krennic's is it Deploy the Garrison where you get a standby?
I think so.
Yeah,
I've played against Krennic a lot as a local player who really likes Krennic, and he's got some cheeky options.
So of course, Commander Vader with his unlimited courage and standby, just like, well, I'll just take a standby. Go on then, shoot me. Not getting rid of this standby. So, so I was like, yeah. And you had some death troopers, but the ATSTs just leathered, and Vader ended up cowering behind a wall because he didn't know what to do. He didn't know whether to stick and try and stop me coming across, or twist and go after me. And in the end, he sort of just moved around, not quite sure. And eventually Vader's just like plink one, plink another one, plink another one, and they do add up.
Was that breakthrough as well?
That was breakthrough as well, yeah.
Yeah. That's a tricky one for Vader, because Vader's big way of stopping breakthrough is either murdering things or staying in combat, and half your list can't be put into combat, can it? So
no, it's funny. It's an Empire list, and it's got what was it, 15 health of red dice, and 45 health of white dice.
It's a lot. Oh my days.
But by the time you add up the two ATSTs at 11 each, and the bikes at 18, and 4 for the commander, and then 2 each for the droids and repairing.
Yeah.
That's about a 40 odd white health save. So that was
weather the storm, isn't
it? So that put me on 4 wins for the day.
So I was watching from home. I didn't get to come to the event, but they were doing a great job of giving us updates throughout the day. So we did get a nice update saying that you'd finished top for the day, which was fantastic to hear. So like the top player with a double ATST list, and put you nicely into day 2.
So good night's sleep. Came back the next morning, and I'm up against Callum again.
Oh no.
On breakthrough again.
Oh my days.
Well, this time Callum says, I'm going to get you this time. So he put Luke on the offensive, and made sure there was a way for Luke to get into my deployment zone.
Sounds good.
Without being shot by the ATSTs. So what happened there was we just pelted it hell for leather across the board. Swung the bikes round again, took out enough units so that I outnumbered his units, even after Luke had done his thing. And the ATSTs sort of held Luke off for a couple of turns and made him worry about coming out.
Yeah.
So by the time he did come out, he butchered the ATSTs. He butchered one and I think got the other one, but by then he hadn't got enough to get into my deployment zone for the points.
Yeah. You'd already got some units across, yeah?
I'd got my units across and we'd banked the points, and it was just making sure he couldn't get warm bodies into the deployment zone.
The ATSTs sacrificed themselves. Is that the first game you lost them as well?
Yeah, it was the first game I lost, and I lost both.
So you went from them living all of day one and neither died to the first game of day two, and they both died.
You've got to be prepared to make sacrifices in the Imperial Army.
So where does this put us now? Is the next game top 8 or is the next game the semi?
That was the top 8.
Gotcha. So the next one's the semi-final.
That was game 5. Game 6 was the semi-final. Ended up playing the eventual winner, Andy Terrell.
So there was yourself, 2 droid lists, and
2 droid lists very similar.
Yes.
Both had 5 units of B1s.
So yeah, a lot of droids.
Both had 2 Magna Guard. One was led by Grievous.
Yep.
One was led by Dooku.
Gotcha. And you got to fight the Dooku list.
I got to fight the Dooku list. The other top 4 was Dave Grant with his Rebels, Operative Luke, party bus full of fleet troops, and some radar cannons.
That's cool. Oh yes, he had multiple FD cannons. Yes,
he did, multiple FDs, pizza guns.
They do look cool. So how did your top 4 go?
So my top 4, having looked at how game 1 went,
yes,
I was like, okay, this is going to be tricky if we get anything that requires warm bodies. Now I've been blue player all the way through, and what that meant is we're using my missions, and they were stacked very much for unit leaders rather than troopers.
Yes.
And I'd taken bombing run.
Yep.
Taken payload, because the ATSTs can guard and walk along and everything else like that.
Yep.
As can the bikes. Taken key positions.
Okay.
Because that's at the end of the game, unit leaders in base contact with the terrain. So I can duke it out and then turn 5, turn 6, go for the objective.
Yeah.
And breakthrough.
And breakthrough, of course, yeah.
Because I've got a fast moving force, I can get it over there quickly, I can shoot whilst I'm going across.
Yep.
And other armies really struggle to do that.
Yeah, 100%.
Unfortunately,
yeah, what did you end up playing?
Andy had 1 point, I think it was 1 point less than me. So with his cards, and they were they were an absolute disaster. It was hostage.
Yeah, you don't want hostage.
I do not want hostage. Recover the supplies.
Not ideal at all.
No, not going to say. I've got 4 units that can pick them up.
Yeah, and they. I've
got a white health commander
who's not going to be picking anything up. Yeah.
And 3 squads of 5, and in 2 of those, one of the models can't fight anyway. So Dooku and the Magna Guards are going to have a field day obliterating them. What else was there? It was, I think it was sabotage the VAPs and something else. So and all 4 were terrible. The only one that I thought I can actually give Andy a game on is sabotage the VAPs.
Okay, yeah.
And of course, that has to come down in position 3.
Yes.
So it comes down in position 1, Andy gets rid of it. Comes down in position 2, Andy gets rid of both. Comes down in position 4, Andy does not touch these.
No.
Fortunately, it came down in 3.
So you had the choice. That's nice.
So yeah, so my first veto is that, and then he's got the choice: either veto that and I'll take it, or leave it and I'll veto and take it. So
Nice.
I did get the mission that at least gave me a fighting chance.
Yeah.
We end up Long March, and then he set up the way the scenery was. He basically set up everybody in cover.
Fair. When you got ATSTs pointed at you.
Yeah. So I thought, well, okay, so it's back down to that first game of payload where I know we're going to draw on the objectives. So it's about kill points. And I got in there and I managed to get a unit killed.
Yep.
And that means that Andy's got to come to me.
Exactly.
So I'm desperately now trying to back my ATSTs off as he's coming forward with Dooku and double Magners, soaking up all the firepower. And this is where he went red save after red save after red save, doing nothing to him. My bikes went in, nothing. He was hitting bikes, getting down to like 1 or 2 wounds. I'd then get the bikes and off.
Yeah.
Compulsory move, get them out of range. And the game actually went down to turn 5. I'd moved this bike, and you've got to appreciate 6 games in 2 days.
Oh yeah.
Your legs and your knees are absolutely at it.
100%.
And I'd moved this bike, and this last move, I just sort of, I'll move it to there, thinking that's plenty range, right? It's now like far away from Dooku. Dooku hasn't moved yet. I didn't measure the full distance this bike could get away.
Oh no.
Dooku's turn. He moved. Dooku activates start of turn 6. Burst of speed. Relentless. Is in on the bike by literally 1/8 of an inch.
Ugh. So essentially first lasted. So like, yeah, that last move and first move.
Last first, yeah. So he's got 4 dice, no aims or anything, and he gets, I think it gets like 2 hits. I've got 2 wounds left on the bike, and I need both saves. So he got PS1.
Yeah.
I failed 1 save. If I'd have got both saves, that would have been it. I would have survived that. I would have won on points, gone through. Or if I'd have nudged it another 1/4 of an inch,
yeah,
he may have been able to get another target, but everything else was higher health.
Yeah.
So he didn't actually get the hits he needed to get that. So it was really, really, really close in the end. But he took that, and then he went on to play the
droids.
Grievous droids. And the Grievous droids decided to go for recover the supplies. Oh no, sorry, hostage. Went for hostage.
Oh.
And Dooku did what you think Dooku's going to do, force push them and everything, and that was it. So
yeah, uses powers. Well, no, you had an excellent run. So like top Empire player over both days. As well as a double ATST list, which is not exactly a meta staple. It's often in the meta because people like putting 2 ATSTs on the table, but certainly not what you'd pick as like the best Imperial list on paper. I think Vader's probably the one that everyone would point to at the moment. So well done for that.
Thank you.
How was the days? Obviously, it was over a weekend. You were at the Games Expo. Did you get any minutes to yourself to have a look at things in the expo?
Not really. I mean, it was the first expo since COVID.
Yeah.
And it was extremely popular.
Yes.
The thing is, there's just so the games are so intense.
Yeah.
Especially up there, you've got you're focusing so much on the game because you're thinking any wrong move here and it's curtains, and
Yeah, 100%.
I can't leave this out, I can't leave that out. So by the time you finish the game, you just want to go, oh, just stop. I don't want to think about anything. So I did go walking around, but you just get overwhelmed by so many sights, so many colours, so much chatter. You're thinking, oh, this is, my poor brain can't take it anymore.
No, fair and reasonable. It is a great event if people get a chance to go.
They did have some demo games going on, and the Legion demo games were really popular all weekend.
That's really good. I'm so glad now that we've had like the May the 4th event and we've had UK Games Expo. There's Worlds invites like happening now and people being flown around the world, which is great as well. There's a good opportunity for the game to really grow. Are you going to any more of the Worlds qualifiers? Italy,
I would like
Denmark.
to.
What is it? Italy's? I want to say it's first weekend of September off the top of my head.
It is.
It's
it's my birthday weekend, so I'm tempted by that, and then the Danish one in October. It's just there's a couple of clashes that I need to look at, and but it'd be great. I mean, we haven't travelled overseas for years now.
Yeah,
and sort of back in the, I suppose, the 90s and 2000s and 2010s, I did a lot of traveling with Blood Bowl, to European and America and like to play that, and made some great friends doing that.
It is fantastic.
I'd love to do that again with Legion. I'm definitely going to the Worlds. Have to book all that up. But now it's looking at different lists. So I've got a few other non-meta lists.
Excellent.
I'm not a big reader of the internet. I don't go looking and seeing, oh, what's the best combo, and I like playing around with combos and finding out things that I like to work. And that is something I have always done, is take a non-standard list and tailor it so I know exactly what it does.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. The interesting challenge with the AATST list is you're playing with probably 4 command cards rather than 6.
Yes, because I imagine a couple of them just do not synergize at all. I'm trying to remember the Imperial Officer off the top of my head, but it's not fantastic for AATST.
No, it's not. So you've got the 2 cards that you don't really use. Your 1 pip.
Okay.
Is an operative or a special forces.
Yeah, that's not going to help your list at all. You don't have a single one of either of those.
And the other one is the 3 pip, 3 core units. If they use an aim, they can pass an aim on. But the problem is, I'm not aiming with my core units. They're usually hiding.
Yeah, they're there to secure things, aren't they?
Using something like standing orders, and triggering the link targeting array.
Yeah, of course, yeah, because you give the order, it creates the aim token.
Yeah, anyway, I can use it straight away. But often with that list, I'm wanting to go second because the ATSTs are front and center, and you can shoot them all day. They don't care. They're just like, yeah, whatever. Have you finished? Have you finished? Right, okay, my turn.
Yep, I'm here to bring these guns to bear, if you wouldn't mind. No, that's fantastic. It sounds like you had a really good time. So that's the most important thing, because it is a game. But no, like yourself, it's been a couple of years since I've travelled for games. X-Wing was my big travelling game. So I would love to sneak over to Italy the start of September. I don't know if it's going to be possible, but you never know. We'll see.
Well, my next one is I think it's probably going to be August down at Milton Keynes.
Very nice.
5 games there. That's run by Andy Terrell.
Okay.
there are still tickets available.
Excellent.
Andy's a great lad, and the prizes on offer are fantastic. Lots of homemade alt art, which,
That's cool.
I mean, it sounds okay. These are superb alt art
There are
cards.
some fantastic third-party options out there at the moment, and to be honest, most people who play a lot of Legion already have everything that they need. So third-party, yeah, as you said, is great because it's what you want. You want variety in your game, don't you? Especially when you're playing with the local friends, where you don't need to have the official card.
Yeah, and to support that, I've started doing a UK Star Wars Legion event calendar.
Yes, you have.
On Google. Try and plug that as much as I can, because I mean, for me, it's great. I love to know what's going on, so I can pick and choose my tournaments.
Yep.
And using Google as a calendar, what it means is either people can go onto the web and look at it that way as a one-off,
Yep.
or do what I've done, and I've integrated it with my Outlook.
Yeah.
So it's just a feed into my Outlook calendar. I can see it alongside my work diary and my personal diary. And it means I can coordinate all my activities. So
That's fantastic.
if I think, oh, well, I'm free in 3 weeks' time, what's available, I can go on there. So
I'll put links in to your calendar in the description here, and make sure it's super obvious, because I do see you posting regularly. Most often when I'm scrolling Facebook, often when I'm in between work calls, I'll see someone said, we're going to do an event, and then the first comment is you going, put it on the calendar. Like, you put it on the calendar.
I would love it if organisers would actually send me stuff, because it makes my job easier. But I do keep an eye out on Facebook. As soon as I see something, I've got to try and remember, have I put this on the calendar before or not? So I've got a mental sort of track of, I think I've got that. I'll go and check. Yeah, it's fine. I've got that. Or no, right, stick it on. And yeah, hopefully other people find it useful.
No, that's fantastic. Geoff, thank you very much. I don't want to keep you too late this evening, but it's been fantastic to hear about your time at UK Games Expo and running your list, and much appreciated.
Absolute pleasure, Alan.
Cheers. Bye, Geoff.
Bye.